I've got it down to 8, I think, so we're in luck. But great presentations, the last two. Exciting times for the Arctic. It's always good to see new projects coming forward, and it's a great segue into my presentation. So, good afternoon, everybody. President Grimson, Prime Minister, distinguished guests. It's a pleasure to be part of the Future of the Arctic infrastructure session here in Singapore. My name is Thomas Mack. I'm the president of the Aleut Corporation. The Aleut Corporation is one of the 12 regional native corporations in Alaska. I'm also a member of the Arctic Economic Council. And the Arctic Economic Council was formed under the Canadian chairmanship of the Arctic Council in 2014. The purpose of the Arctic Economic Council is to foster responsible, sustainable economic development within the Arctic region for the benefit of the Arctic people and advise the Arctic Council on those developments. So this is a great topic today that we're having. The Arctic Economic Council has membership from all 8 Arctic states, as well as representation from the 6 permanent participants. And I'm a representative from the Aleut International Association on the Arctic Council. So if you could follow that hierarchy, it gets kind of tricky. But it's an honor to be on there. I'm also on their transportation working group. So the Arctic Economic Council is in its infancy, and we're getting it up and running. We have a governance committee being formed to narrow it down because it's a 42-member board, and we need to get some structure going to get it running better. I'm honored to be speaking to you today, and I thank the Arctic Circle and the Singapore Maritime Institute for having me today. Let me see. Okay, the United States is considered an Arctic nation for one reason, and that reason is the wonderful state of Alaska, where I'm from. When it comes to the Arctic, the United States is lacking in infrastructure, and that's no secret. And I'm here to talk to you about the need for more infrastructure in the Arctic region when it comes for the United States, and an excellent opportunity in the port of Adak in the Aleutian Islands, which the Aleut Corporation owns outright. Okay, the Arctic in Alaska is not always covered in snow and ice, as is evident in these photos. The Aleutian Islands, where I grew up, remain ice-free year-round, and, as the last slide indicated, are considered a part of the Arctic region as defined by the Arctic Research and Policy Act. Sure, there are other ports or potential ports of call in Alaska along the Great Circle Route and the Northern Sea routes in the Arctic U.S. region, but none offer the ideal location and already available infrastructure as the Port of Adak. I'd like to take a few moments to talk about the increased use of the Northern Sea route for the containerized shipping and how the Port of Adak can facilitate this new trade route. While current Northern Sea route shipments have been primarily bulk products, we will need to make the transition to container operations for this to be a true world trade route. Here's a bit about the Aleut Corporation, again, that I'm a president of. We represent the Aleuts, who are the indigenous people of the Aleutian Islands that begin on the Alaska Peninsula and extend thousands of miles to the east. I am Aleut myself, hard to believe. We have blonde-haired Aleuts, Norwegian in me too. And I've been, like I said, 10 years in my current position. The Aleutians truly are America's gateway to the Arctic and also the international gateway to and from Asia and Europe when it connects to the Great Circle Route. The Aleut Corporation is a for-profit company that was established in 1971 under what's called the Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act. Our lines of businesses range from government contracting, fuel sales, oil and gas contracting, real estate, mechanical construction, and radiochemical analysis and remediation of hazardous materials. You can see we are quite diverse. And here's a picture of our corporate headquarters, which is in Anchorage, Alaska. We have 3,900 shareholders and over 700 employees. Our gross revenues last year were roughly $138 million. We have a very strong cash position and a great balance sheet to work with. We also operate under the Uniform Commercial Code of the United States, just like any other U.S. corporation. In 2004, we gained access to one of our largest assets, the Port of Adak. We received the title to the port, which is a former U.S. naval base, from the United States government. This included all the infrastructure of the base, including the airport, housing, docks, and fuel station. Adak is located at the intersection of the Northern Sea Route and the Great Circle Route between Asia and North America. The port of Adak is an ice-free port and one of the closest deep water ports with access to the Arctic Ocean. We believe that this port can play a critical role in implementing container shipping in the Northern Sea Route. Arctic shipping routes between the U.S. West Coast and Europe are up to 25% shorter than the Panama Canal route. Arctic routes between Asia and Europe are up to 1/3 shorter than the Suez Canal routes. Ice-capable container ships, which will be operated in the Northern Sea Route, will connect with existing vessel traffic on the Great Circle Route. The Port of Adak is perfectly positioned at the crossroads of the Great Northern Route, the Northwest Passage, and the Great Circle Route, as is evident by the picture. As you can see from this slide, shipping traffic on the Great Circle Route is very busy and passes right by the Port of Adak, which is indicated by the red star. This is just a one-day snapshot from last year. For the vision of the shorter shipping times between Europe, Asia, and the U.S. to be realized, certain requirements need to be met. First, ice-capable container ships need to be dedicated to the Northern Sea Route. These vessels will be supported by the Russian icebreakers, including state-of-the-art 60-megawatt vessels currently being constructed in Russia. A standard tariff will be published for the Northern Sea Route voyages. There will be comprehensive RFID tracking and vessel management of the service. And lastly, the Port of Adak will then serve as a transshipment hub for the Great Circle Route vessels. As I just mentioned in the previous slide, ice-capable container ships are needed for the Northern Sea Route crossing. Here's an example. It's a South Korean design for an ice-capable container ship of 2,500 TEUs that will travel the Northern Sea Route. While we are aware of Russian icebreaker capabilities, a new class of icebreaker vessels can extend the shipping window of up to 6 months. Here's a great picture of an existing Russian icebreaker. Although it seems large, it's half as powerful as the new generation icebreakers that are being built today. Here's a graph showing the different vessel types comparing their ice-breaking capabilities and their duration at sea. The horizontal axis shows the thickness of ice, and the vertical axis shows the number of days of operation. As you can see, with the new ice breakers and technology, they can operate at longer periods of times. Now let's move on to the focus of my presentation, the Port of Adak. As you can see, it has extensive infrastructure already in place. The Aleut Corporation owns 49,000 acres of land, a significant portion of which is available for development of custom-built staging and storage facilities. We have complete site control of the port development area. Its deepwater port has depths of 18 meters and is protected from weather by a seawall. The Port of Adak has an ample amount of housing already available. There are hundreds of acres of laydown areas and more than 300,000 square feet of warehouse space available. 2 7,600-foot runways are capable of landing jumbo jets the size of 767s and allow for intermodal transportation. The fuel terminal, which is mostly underground, holds 22 million gallons of fuel oil. We have completed the engineering design for the container terminal, including new ports and a container handling yard. The estimated cost of construction is $100 million US. And you can see the drawing right there. And now we'll go into, it's kind of a faraway picture, but this is a rendition of the proposed container terminal, including berths and container handling areas of the Port of Adak. And I think I have it, it's right there. You get the arrow's almost there, right left more, right there. And I'll go over it one more time. There it is, close-up view. You could see the the 2 container ships, the cranes, the laydown area right there. So that's all ready to be built, and that's what we're proposing. In closing, the Aleut Corporation is seeking partners to complete a feasibility analysis of this trade route and for investors and terminal managers for the container terminal of the Port of Adak. I urge you to contact us to further discuss this opportunity. You can see my contact information and the website address for the Port of Adak on this slide. I look forward to the remainder of this forum and my tour of the Port of Singapore tomorrow. I'm excited about Mr. Mead Treadwell's announcement about the League of Arctic Ports. We look forward to being an active participant in that organization. Again, I thank you for your time and hospitality, and let's all do business.